Take notes, guys, as this top 10 list might help you make decisions on what comics to buy for next week. Hey, all you webheads out there, welcome back to Comic Book Corner 2.0. And fans, you're with me, your host, Mike Spider Slayer, getting ready to bring you my top 10 most anticipated comic books. Guys, this is for January 29th, 2020. That's right, fans. This is the video series where each and every week I share with you my top 10 most anticipated comics to hopefully get you psyched up for the following week's worth of comic books. So, if you want to be part of the webhead community, guys, it's very simple. All you got to do is give this video a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel, and don't forget to hit that all-important notification bell so you don't miss any content from me. So before we jump into this top 10 list officially, we have to talk about this week's hot seat book. That's right, guys. This is the book where, I'm thinking about possibly dropping or not even picking up altogether. But it is on my radar, and this book goes to Issue 2 of Hawkeye Freefall. Now, the first issue of this particular series was not my favorite. The artwork was okay. The story was okay, maybe kind of forgettable. And I was like, do I really care about Ronin? Who this mysterious Ronin is. This is a limited series, so this one could be dropped at any time. But at the same time, I'm kind of like, well, maybe I do care about Ronin. I guess it just depends on my mood when I walk into the comic book store. The first issue was okay. It had Red Hood, what's his name? The Hood in there. And we don't know who this Ronin character is. And there was some funny banter in there with Hawkeye and stuff like that. But nothing that was really spectacular and mind-blowing. So I guess I'll see how I feel when I walk into the comic book store that day and see if I'll pick it up or not. Who knows? All right. So, make our way into the official top 10 now. We go into number 10. And number 10, it goes to Scream. This is issue 3. This one's dropping a little bit for me because it still kind of ties into this whole absolute carnage thing, and it loosely ties into Spider-Man comics as you get to see Andy, how she kind of goes into May's charity place and whatnot. And we get to see Andy, how she's had an abusive relationship with her mother, and she misses her mother, and a symbiote was kind of posing as her mother. It was kind of weird, but at the same time, the art is kind of creepy, and it makes you kind of want to learn more about Andy as a character, and maybe it might make her more relevant in the Marvel universe instead of her being in a series and then she disappears for years and whatnot. So we'll see what happens with it, and she finds herself she's the only symbiote right now in New York because Eddie Brock is off in Venom Island. So we'll see where it goes. 32 pages, $3.99. Number 9, this goes to the Daily Bugle Amazing Spider-Man issue 1. That's right, fans. Now, do we really need another Spider-Man book? That is the question. Well, I guess it just determines how good this series actually is. Now, this one has to do about the Daily Bugle, Robbie Robertson, Mayor Fisk. It's kind of between the Amazing Spider-Man and Daredevil of what's going on in those stories. So this could be an interesting read for you. And if you're a huge Spider-Man fan, this could be a book to pick up, For some people, there's not enough Spider-Man books out there. It's just like Batman. If you're a Batman fan, you're going to read a ton of Batman stuff. So again, we'll see where this one goes. This one is 32 pages, $3.99. At least you're not overpaying for this book. All right, so let's move on to number 8. And fans, what falls in that number 8 spot? Well, it's the Immortal Hulk. This is issue 30. Immortal Hulk still stays on my top 10 list, but it is slowly dropping. I'm kind of losing a little bit interest in the series. It's not as intriguing as it once was when we were getting introduced to all those different types of Hulks. Now we get to see Bruce Banner as he's this Devil Hulk, and we get to see multiple personalities, but he wants to kind of cleanse the world, and he feels like he also has to take on this Roxxon conglomerate, and it's kind of like, well, why do I care about Roxxon anyway? And the Minotaur, and now the Minotaur is releasing all his creatures on Hulk so they can fight. Now, I don't mind the fighting part. This issue actually could be a lot of fun, where he does battle against all these weird, like, gamma creatures. Again, that could be fun. We haven't seen an action-packed issue of the Immortal Hulk in quite a while. We've seen a lot of exposition-heavy issues and whatnot, so this could be a fun issue that can bring the series back on top once again. But once we get through Roxxon, where does it go from here? Do you think that maybe Al Ewing should have ended this series after that weird issue that he had? I don't know. Does the series need to continue to go forward? So we'll see what happens with the Immortal Hulk. This is issue 30, and this one is 28 pages, $3.99. All right, next. Coming in at number 7, this is X-Men issue 5. Now, this book is dropped a little bit on my radar list as well, as it's still a good book, but I find the book it's a little bit all over the place at this point. We're on issue 5, and we don't get like a real cohesive story when it comes to the main X-Men title. I feel like Hickman is jumping things around a little bit, maybe putting things at different timelines or whatever it is, and then maybe he's going to fill in the gaps later on, because one story you get a story with Cyclops and the Summers family on Krakoa. One story you wind up getting about these crazy grandmas that are botanists and whatnot. And then one story you get them in the board meeting. And so I don't feel like it's cohesive story in many ways. So I'm looking forward to I want to see where this main title is actually going to go. Don't get me wrong, I don't think I'm ever going to drop X-Men. Whether it stays on the top 10 list is still to be determined, but I'm in it for the long haul. So we'll see what happens with X-Men. This is issue 5, 32 pages, $3.99. So continuing with the X books, coming in at number 6, X-Force issue 6. Perfect, right? Number 6, issue 6, comes in at that spot. And the last issue was really good, I felt, in my opinion. Wolverine is recovering from his injuries. He got chopped in half from a Krakoan portal. We wound up seeing Forge, how he actually got into the battle of action using Krakoan technology. We had Domino, how she had to choose a side if she should kill one from those people that tried to assassinate Professor X and tortured her. So it's a very emotional issue at the same time. And so this particular issue, we wound up finding out, we're going to try to find out who are these people that are trying to assassinate and steal all their Krakoan technology. I'm very anxious to see that. And this one is my favorite X book as them all, as I feel like it's been the most cohesive and interesting story out of all of them. So we'll see where that one goes. And holy shit, the lawn guy is about to start mowing the grass across the street. I gotta hurry up and get this freaking video done before all the noise comes in. All right, so next, we're coming in at number 5. And number 5 goes to the Avengers of the Wastelands. This is issue 1. This book is done by Ed Brisson. New story from the world of Old Man Logan. That's right, guys. If you read Dead Man Logan, the 12-issue series, this book was phenomenal. And we got to see Danny Cage, who is Luke Cage's daughter, hold Mjolnir, and she becomes the newest Thor. So she's the newest Thor in the Wastelands. We have Bruce Banner Jr. as Junior Hulk, and we have another version of Ant-Man here that's going to make your Avengers of this wasteland. And I think this book can be a lot of fun. Definitely pick this one up. If you're a fan of this world, this is 32 pages, $3.99. All right. So next we have number 4, and number 4 goes to Thor. This is issue 2. Now, if you like Donny Cates' writing, I have a feeling you're gonna like Donny Cates' Thor. This is kind of a different take on the character. It's not your traditional Thor. This comes off of the pages, obviously, of King Thor, and Thor is king. We found out that Galactus has landed on Asgard, and there's this black winter that is actually coming, and And the cool thing about this particular issue is that Thor is kind of bored that he's actually king and he's not in the fight. Well, never fear, Galactus is here to actually recruit Thor to make him his herald to go into battle to try to stop whatever this Black Winter is. And Donny Cates, if you know him, he's very like cosmic like. He's all about the cosmic universe and the whole grand scheme of Marvel when it comes to everything. So I don't know. I think it's going to be a lot of fun this run, and this could be the first Thor book. There we go. The lawn is starting. This could be the first Thor book that I actually see all the way through because I've never been a huge fan of the actual character. So we'll see what happens with it. All right. So here we go. Bear with me if you hear the lawnmower. I'm sorry. Can't control it, guys. Fans, you know, this is what I deal with on a weekly basis. So, next, moving on to number 3. Number 3 goes to Jessica Jones, Blind Spot. This is issue 2. Okay, so the great thing about Jessica Jones, Blind Spot being released on regular floppy form is that you get to see it in its whole, because before it was released digitally, you only got to see like 3 pages and was continued like in the next week or something like that. And having this read in my hands, it is absolutely perfect. I think Kelly Thompson does a phenomenal job at capturing the voice of Jessica Jones. And the other great thing about this particular issue is that we get to see the point of view of Jessica being a private investigator, and you get to see that with the wonderful artwork that is in this book as well. So this is a great read. What happens is Jessica winds up getting framed for murder, and at the end of the first issue, she gets shot in the back of the head. Now, I think it was so good, and I think you should definitely pick it up if you haven't picked it up, or if you just have not read it in a very long time. I don't think you'll be disappointed. All right, so let's move forward. At number 2, stop mowing the lawn. Jesus. Sorry, guys. Can't think either. I think that's worse. So, Star Wars issue number 2 is number 2 on this week's spot here on the list. And this first issue was really good as we get to see the events unfold after Luke Skywalker finds out that Darth Vader is his father and how he copes with that. And I think that is a very difficult situation for Luke. He's trying to find Yoda. They're not reaching out to him. He's trying to find Obi-Wan. He's not reaching out to him. And so at this point, Luke is very confused on what to do. And maybe this kind of takes you to that point how maybe possibly Luke follows maybe the dark side for a little while. I don't know. Again, this is straight from the events after Empire Strikes Back. I feel like this is one of the best timelines for Star Wars. So if you're a Star Wars fan, go out, pick this one up. It just came out a couple weeks ago. I don't think you're going to be disappointed with this. This is issue 2. And this book is 32 pages, $3.99. And we're moving on to number 1. And you might be surprised with this, but I really like this first issue of this. And this is issue 2 of Suicide Squad. That's right, guys. Suicide Squad. This one's done by Tom Taylor. I'm a huge fan of his writing. He wrote the Injustice books for DC, and he really knows how to write like Elseworld stories and whatnot. And when he's given a little bit of freedom, I think he can do really good justice for the Suicide Squad. He recently wrote Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man or the Spider-Man book, and he wasn't as strong as that because I think editorial said, okay, this is just a street level Spider-Man, and you can only do so much with it. With this, he's got new Suicide Squad members that are introduced, and he's got a mix of some of the old ones. Of course, we have Deadshot, we have Harley Quinn in there, and then we got a bunch of new people. And we were introduced in the first issue to these new people, and it was just kind of graphic, like the way they got killed and the way new members of the Suicide Squad got killed as well. There was this guy by the name of Musketeer. His death was kind of gory. I was sad that he died though, because he was actually funny, you know. So I think Tom Taylor can do a great job on this one. If you did not give this new Suicide Squad issue a try, go ahead. You might want to pick it up and then pick up issue 2 along with it. And this book is also 32 pages, only $3.99. So webheads, there you have it. Guys, there are my top 10 most anticipated comics for the week of January 29th, 2020. Hopefully you did not click off of this video while the lawn people are mowing the lawn, as this happens every week. I try to do it earlier, but they come earlier. They know when I record. So guys, if you want to put your top 10 most anticipated comics of the week, that's great. Your top 5, your number 1, your top 3, that's great. And I appreciate you guys taking the time to watch. And again, if you like this video, give it a thumbs up, subscribe, and don't forget to hit that bell. So webheads, until that next video, this is my Mike Spider Slayer signing off, and I'll see you guys real soon. Take care, everyone.